Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it too. You're probably asking yourself, what in the world is that? And I've got to be upfront with you right here. This is not a purist tank. This thing is very, very different to any tank you've driven before. It's actually a tank straight out of the game Valkyria Chronicles, which is a Sega title, and it's called the Edelweiss, but I like to call it the Little Gnome Destroyer because it looks exactly like the kind of tank a gnome would drive in some of the better known RPGs that I've been known to play, no pun intended. The Edelweiss is a cracker of a tank. It's got a wonderful 225 alpha, which is a really rare thing to get in a Tier 7 medium, and it's got a top-notch mobility and speed profile. 53 kilometers an hour you'll get out to with an 850 horsepower engine, only a 38-ton vehicle, so there's plenty of grunt under the bonnet, got a big donk, and it loves to use it. The gun itself is really, really nice. 0.37 dispersion, but the key, 1.9 second aim time. So it means you're going to be able to use that mobility to get out there, get flank shots really, really quickly, and hide again. And the mobility in that mid-mounted turret is fearsome. I'm a big fan of this tank. It looks great. I know some of you won't like the looks of it. The purists will say there was no Edelweiss running around in WW2, but I don't really care. I'm going to drive the thing, and I'm going to enjoy driving it. And at the end of the day, that's what counts, what you like. And Wargame have given you the opportunity to get this tank and the other Sega title tank, the Nameless, which is a different kettle of fish. And you'll have to have a look out for my good mate, Hugh Jass. He's reviewing the Nameless. Lovely bloke, the big Hugh. And it's a lovely tank in its own right. What else to say about this thing? Well, the gun, 8.7 rounds a minute at 225 alpha. Now, that 225 alpha is the key. At Tier 7, you don't have a lot of big alpha guns. And this tank is probably most reminiscent of a tank like the Panther. It's got very, very, very similar armor profile and a very similar top speed. But this tank is definitely more mobile than the Panther. It does lack the Panther's glorious penetration numbers. You've only got 150 millimeters of penetration on your AP rounds and 210 millimeters of penetration on your APCR. Now, if that reminds you of any tank in particular, it should, because they're very, very close to the penetration numbers of the famous and notorious indeed, if you're on the opposition, Comet, the Tier 7 British tank that is an absolute cracker. But where the Comet has a 15 round a minute, 160 alpha gun, this thing has a lovely dose of derp at 225 and 8.7 rounds a minute, which means while you can still theoretically permatrack tanks, you can also play that peek-a-boom style that a lot of us enjoy at higher tier medium gameplay. The Edelweiss, or the Gnome Destroyer, as I'm going to be calling it. Love the gnome. Love the gnome. Get a look at the gnome. Also has an antenna on the back. Now, if your tank doesn't have an antenna on the back, you've been missing out. I'm not missing out because I'm driving a tank that gets reception on VHF, UHF, and all the major broadband channels. Camo is legendary camo. You can't change the camo on it, and it comes with the tank, which is a lovely thing. It's a tank that sacrifices a little bit of armor for the ability to dash about the field and drop big amounts of damage on the enemy team. And who doesn't like a tank that does those kind of things? It's a small package with a big heart and an awfully interesting profile. When I looked at it the first time out of the box, I knew straight away that I was going to like it. And I think it's going to be one of those tanks that very, very much divides up the populace. The thing that really sold it for me was the mobility. It's so nimble. It's got numbers on it that kind of belie that, 48 degrees and 45 degrees, but it's got a very, very short wheelbase for a medium tank. So you don't actually have the, I mean, you can see it next to this T-32. It's not a little shrinking violet. It's a fair-sized vehicle. Oh, it just works for me. And when it works for me, I love it. When I love it, I talk about it in very, very loud and excited terms. And I'm loud, boys and girls, and I'm excited, and the terms are terrific. So that's the Edelweiss. As always, if you haven't, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Plenty of nonsense going on around here. There's a video out just about every day, and I hope you really enjoy this little gnome destroyer. Rock on, humans, and stay safe on the battlefield.